big game in the Southeastern Conference as the 13th ranked Florida Gators take on the 22nd ranked Kentucky Wildcats. With Dan Bonner, Kevin Harlan, a look at our lineups today. The Gators coming off a big win over Georgia a couple nights ago, capturing at least a share of the East. Kentucky 13-0 at home, but only 7-6 on the road, losing the other night in Fayetteville to the Arkansas Razorbacks. So Dan Bonner, something's got to give today between the Gators and the Cats.
Yeah, it sure does. And for Kentucky, I think Brandon Knight is one of the key guys. He really has to control the pace of the game. And Chandler Parsons for the Gators of Florida, I think, has to play well today. He's a very versatile player, very capable of scoring points, and I think he's got to have a good game.
When you're the road team in the Southeastern Conference, as Walker now gives it off to Parsons, you got to sustain the early emotion of playing on the road from the home.
Absolutely, Kevin. That early part of the game is crucial for the road team.
Macklin outside to Parsons. The shot clock now in single digits, just underway. Good screen right there by Tyus. And Parsons can't get it. Great offensive rebound by Alex Tyus. But they can't convert, and the Wildcats are going to get it for the first time.
Pretty good man-to-man defense by Kentucky right there. Florida, you know, Billy Donovan told us earlier today, if they aren't able to get anything out early in transition, they're going to try to use the shot clock to take the crowd out of the game. And that strategy works as long as you score at the end of the shot clock.
One of the great freshmen in college basketball, Brandon Knight. Over to Terrence Jones. In fact, they got a couple of them here, along with Deron Lamb. Here is Miller.
Man-to-man for Florida as well.
Lamb against Walker.
And that's one of the problems that you have if you're trying to defend those guys. Lamb is an excellent three-point shooter, but he goes to the basket very well.
Foul goes on Harrelson, the big man in the middle for the Cats. He picks up his first personal foul.
Kevin, and this is what we're talking about with these freshmen for Kentucky. You can see the three of them, Jones, Knight, and Lamb. They score 63% of the team's total points. That ranks them second in the NCAA.
Walker with a three and fouled on the play by Deron Lamb. Lamb picks up his first three. Free throws coming up for Walker.
Well, now keep in mind, remember Walker is only 5 feet 8 inches tall, and so the Kentucky guards are all taller. They want to make sure they get up in his face, force him to shoot over top. That time Lamb was a little late.
Let's now take a look at this Florida team, number 13 in the country, 22-5 overall. They've won this year, as we said before, in the East. They'll win today. They win the East outright in the Southeastern Conference. They just played Thursday with a huge win of 71-62 for Billy Donovan's Gators.
And it's really tough for Billy Donovan to get his guys ready to go for such a big game, but he's got veteran players, and that's a big help. And Irving Walker, of course, has done such a great job since he's moved to the point position for Florida. And he's a guy that, even though we mentioned that he's going to be bothered by this Kentucky size, he still has to find ways to help his team. And certainly making free throws is one of the ways he can do that.
Here is Knight. And don't you think he's the key for Kentucky today?
Yes, I do. And right there, he uses his quickness, gets to the basket. Kentucky, they use that dribble drive offense of John Calipari's. They're trying to penetrate into the lane. Florida's got to make them stop and shoot mid-range jump shots. Hopefully, if you're a Florida fan, off balance, under pressure, mid-range jump shots.
Tyus with a good lob into Macklin. Harrelson is there. Rebound by Jones, the top rebounder on this team, one of the best in the Southeastern Conference. Knight again.
And that's a big key for Kentucky. Harrelson does such a great job for John Calipari, going for his 500th career victory today. But Harrelson is a great offensive rebounder. Florida's got to make sure they find him and block him off.
It's an interesting team that Calipari has. Of course, he had all those kids who played last year and left. Terrence Jones inside, a celebrated player, a freshman from Portland, Oregon. Here comes Parsons. He is a senior. A senior front line for the Gators. A very experienced team that Billy Donovan uses. Harrelson tries to defend on Tyus, who loses the ball. 17.5 to play here in the first half.
See, I think that's a mistake by Florida. If you don't have anything, they shouldn't try to force it against the set defense. Pass the ball, make those freshmen move around and play a little bit on the defensive end.
Use some patience.
Absolutely.
Jones, and he's fouled inside by Tice. So whereas Florida's got all kinds of experience, it's a very young and very narrow margin that Calipari's got. Not a lot of depth on the Kentucky Cats.
Well, not a lot of depth, but a tremendous amount of talent. And I think this is where Jones is at his best. Jones is a big guy. He likes to go out and shoot the ball on the perimeter, but he is a big guy, 6'8", 245 pounds. When he plays down on the inside, he is extremely difficult to defend.
Terrific player in the top 5 in the Southeastern Conference is Terrence Jones in points and rebounds. You see the double-doubles, number 1 in the SEC. He's done it all. A guy who initially verbally committed to the University of Washington and then switched and comes to Kentucky.
He's only a 66% free throw shooter, so it's a little bit of a surprise that he misses two. But when you're playing a big game like this, you got to be able to knock down those free throws.
Florida beat Kentucky earlier this season in Gainesville by 2 back in early February. Boynton for 3.
And Boynton, he's not a real high percentage three-point shooter, but he's a high volume three-point shooter.
He is indeed.
And the key for him is he makes big threes, and particularly he can be a very streaky three-point shooter. So now that he's hit one, you got to get out on him. Don't want him to hit 3 or 4 in a row.
This is Darius Miller. Miller is a junior from Maysville, Kentucky, who's been in double figures 3 straight games for the Kentucky Wildcats. And we're tied at 6. 3.5 into the game here in Lexington.
Early, no answer by the Gators for the Kentucky players' ability to drive the ball to the basket.
Walker with the drive. Lamb. Nice ball rotation and a big-time free from Darius Miller. He's got 5 early points for Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky makes, almost 9 three-point baskets per game. They really like to shoot the 3, and they've got guys who can do it, Miller being one of them.
Boynton can't knock it down. Jones saves the ball. Brandon Knight working on the defensive point. Lamb over Walker. Macklin with the rebound. Carson's playing with the injured thigh. Missed the game the other night against LSU. Came off the bench against Georgia on Thursday. Played a terrific game with 16 points. He's kind of the heart and soul of this Florida team.
Yeah, he is, but that was great defense by Miller.
Macklin with a good move.
Nice pass on the inside. Patrick Young in the game for Florida.
And a quick foul. Patrick Young, the freshman, picks it up. He was a McDonald's All-America a season ago. And a timeout taken. Kentucky by 1 early in Lexington.